worse, though. I don't know if you just caught a little preview of this story in the news with Jodie Looker. We are talking to a real-life hero on the show this morning. They don't wear a cape, but I think they were wearing sun cream at the time. Lee Bernadette-Walford from Newcastle is away on holiday with her family in Turkey. And the other day, going about a normal business on holiday, little bit of sunbathing, little bit of swimming in the pool, ended up saving the life of a 79-year-old woman. Absolutely amazing story, this. I'm delighted to say that Lee is with us now. Lee, good morning.
Good morning, Lee. Lovely name.
Yeah, I was just, you know what? Am I that predictable? You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to make exactly the same gag. You join us from Turkey, right? Just how's Turkey this fine morning?
Oh, it's lovely. Well, we're 2 hours ahead of you, so the weather's it's really nice over here. It's like sitting around in the 30s, so it's lovely.
Nice. So currently on holiday, originally,
yes.
or certainly living now in Newcastle under Lyme. Just tell us what happened and how you became a lifesaver.
Well, it was day 2. And my husband had got a little bit sunburned on the first day, so he was trying to stay out of the sun, and I decided I wanted to go further towards the shore and sit in the sun. And luckily I did, because I was within earshot of a big German guy who was dragging what I thought was a lifeless little girl out of the sea, and it turned out, well, he was shouting medic, and I looked over and rushed over to him and realised it was an older woman, and sort of gauged the situation, got her down onto her back, and we had to sort of pull her over because the tide was still lapping up. I realised that she wasn't breathing. She was a dreadful colour, and I basically had to start compressions.
So what had happened? Had the lady had a struggle in the sea, or?
Well, I have spoken to her since. We've been to dinner and whatnot, but she said that she was swimming back to shore, and she got caught in a slight rip tide. She was trying to reach like an artificial pier, and she didn't quite make it. She was getting tired. So the man who was out swimming with his daughter, the German man, his daughter had said to him in German, "Papi, how long can you stay underwater?" He said, "Not long. You can hold your breath and then you've got to come back up."
Wow.
And she said to her dad, "Well, that woman's been under there a long, long time."
So it was actually a youngster who kind of raised the alarm then.
Absolutely, yeah. Sonia, who's the lady, Sonia Grist, who's 79, was completely submerged under the water. So yes, it was Daniel's little girl who actually saw Sonia. But when Daniel, and he's a big, the big sort of German men, he must be like 6'3", 6'4", huge. He said, "Lee, I knew I would be able to get her to shore, but he said he was struggling, to be fair." He said, "I had no clue what to do."
What was that like for you? You're completely relaxed, you're completely switched off on your holidays, chilling out, having a good time, and then something like that happens when someone's life is in massive, massive danger. What's that like for you to be able to just flick a switch and just go? Because I think 90% of people in that position, myself included, I will say, would have just frozen.
Lots of people have asked me about this, and to be honest, I'm always on alert. I'm a mum of 4, albeit they're sort of a bit older. My youngest has just turned 15. I used to be a lifeguard, a nurse, and I've got lots of life experiences, and I'm always a little bit aware of my surroundings, for little children, and I'm a bit of a people watcher as well. So I flick on my adrenaline was going. Lots of people wouldn't have been able to do it, and I realised when I was doing it, everything sort of goes into a little bit slow motion. There was people actually videoing me doing that, and lots of people didn't even get off their sunbeds to help, which is quite alarming for myself.
Absolutely. That is just 2022 in a nutshell right there, isn't it? What do people do? Reach for their phones straight away. Now, you've spoken to Sonia, haven't you, Lee? And she's absolutely fine now, thanks largely, may I say, to your intervention.
Yes, she went for a sauna. I was coming out of the sauna. I did revive her. The doctor came. She was rushed to hospital in the ambulance, and she spent overnight at the hospital on oxygen, and they were keeping an eye on her. She was on a drip. And then it was about 2 days later, I was at a Turkish sauna on her hotel, and as I was leaving, she was coming in, and I recognised the little pink bikini that she was wearing. And I said, Sonia, and she looked at me. She's tiny, literally 4 foot something. And she just said, you saved my life, and started to hug me. It was very, very emotional. It's afterwards that I start to shake, and, then you realise what you've got yourself into. I've not lost anyone yet. But and I don't intend to, and neither do I intend not to help anyone. I do believe that everyone should learn how to do CPR.
Do you know what? And I've heard a lot of people who have been in similar positions to you say exactly the same thing. It's an essential skill, CPR, basic first aid, because you do not know when it can come in handy and how big a difference it could make. Do you think you'll stay in touch? Because you hear stories like this where someone just randomly helps a stranger and in the most important of ways, as you did, and they become friends for life. Do you think you'll stay in touch with Sonia?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's having her 80th birthday party in 2 weeks' time. She's invited my husband and I. She's actually a tour guide now. She's a retired modern languages teacher. This woman is an athlete. She used to be third in Britain for figure skating. She was still mountaineering 9 years ago, going Brilliant. Up like she's amazing. She was at Pilates the other day. She was actually over here to play tennis. She was playing men at tennis. And yes, we've been for dinner. I saw her. We're going to probably see her again today. So interesting, absolutely lovely woman. And she's told me to say, I have to say, stop the stink. I've told her about all my protesting. Yeah. Because I'm admin for Stop the Stink, fighting for our community. So we're not just intimidating minority. We're actually out to help people, and I'm working away to help the people of Silverdale and Newcastle. Well, you've made a big difference to certainly that life of that lady there, Sonia, in Turkey. Honestly, great stuff, Lee, and thanks ever so much for talking to us. Enjoy the rest of your holiday and try and chill out now. Okay, thanks. Thanks for getting hold of me. Top stuff. Take care. Lee Bernadette-Walford from Newcastle-under-Lyme, speaking to us about the most random of incidents on her holiday. She discovered 79-year-old Sonia unconscious, being dragged from the water, and she had to go over, give her CPR, and basically saved Sonia's life. Just like that. She was completely switched off and just had to flick a switch and just burst into action. And she's just calling now for everybody to learn CPR and basic first aid, because you cannot know the difference it can make. In that case, it saved the life of another human being. Great, great work from Lee Bernadette-Walford from Newcastle there.